For the second time this season, it is Major Championship Weekend on the LPGA Tour of Korea, as we bid you a very pleasant good afternoon and welcome you to Fortune Hills Country Club here in Pocheon, where we will contest the BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship. One of the flagship events of the season. It has drawn talent from across the country, of course, and some international invited players as well, still with some of the biggest names, with lots of golf to be played on the afternoon. We are, of course, competing for bragging rights. Major champions, some of the best players in the world, never have the opportunity to win one of the annual marquee events. Someone who knows exactly how to win this tournament, having done it in back-to-back seasons this decade, is Hankyung. She is +1 on 11. As you might have been able to discern, it is an overcast day. There has been plenty of rain, and the course is playing a little bit challenging for even some of the best in the nation. That was 6.3 meters. She sent it a little over 6 and needs one more for her par. +1 makes her 5 off the pace. You can see that she had a nightmarish start to the tournament, to put it mildly, with a double bogey on the par 5 first. She has since bogeyed once more. Her 2 birdies has her close to even, but not quite there yet. Chungyun Su is 145 meters away from the hole, in the rough at 12. As you will soon see on the left side of the green, she rolls that approach all the way up to the back. Chungyun's song now. This is a putt to save a par, and it's a long one. We'll break left to right. That's very well read. Also a rocky start to the round through 11. She is 2 over par. It's a bit of a peculiarity to look at the money and points list and really not see EA1 near the top. Huge haul of points will be available this week and could help her climb back into the top 5. Sharp move to the right at the end. At least that's what she was prepared for. It stays much straighter than she had envisioned. Tough read that will not see her climb any further north on the ladder. Hankyung, not just a champion of this tournament, but she has conquered Fortune Hills Country Club in the past, the new venue for the tournament this year. She's in of a lot of trouble. Probably prefers to be in the bunker than that thick rough just before it. The drive has gone missed to the right.
Shot.
Lee off the tee on the par 3 and has made her dreams for a birdie all but a certainty with one of the best tee shots from the Thursday so far. 60 meters per second, the ball speeds off the face of the driver. She has no problems whatsoever firing that arrow down the middle of the fairway. With conditions such as they are today, fairways in regulation take on extra importance. The first of what is likely two for Jung In Soo. It shouldn't lack for speed so long as it has enough to crest the hill. Just as it's done, that is a perfectly adequate setup with the first putt. Dayon, just the second time today in the birdie column, brings her under par. And as you can see from the 123 in the field, under par has been a difficult nut to crack. 1 under equals a tie for 15th at this stage in the tournament. I would love to have been able to tell you that that was another great tee shot on the par 3, but nobody has quite been able to use the irons and high wedges quite like that. That is one of the benefits, of course, to a wet course. Easier to attack approaches and tee shots on the par 3 alike. And one judges the weight well.
Nice putt!
Hankyung is not the only player in the sand at the minute. This is Kim Min-sun 7. Short with her tee shot at 11 in the green side bunker. Trying to get this up and down in a hurry. Choking down on the club, leaning forward in her stance. Didn't quite get underneath it, did she? Kind of tops it, hits it right in the equator instead of underneath it, and that takes the loft away. Silver lining is she will be putting and not attempting that shot again. No joy for Coach Yu-1. She'll settle for a second putt, but that will cost her a stroke. Her first bogey of the round. And drops her back to even. J. Ream 2 under is a great score after a dozen holes. Interesting design of this Palace course, the second 9, 3 par 5s and 3 par 3s. Clearly she didn't fancy toying at all with the sand trap just beneath the front of the green, plays a more conservative approach and gets on deeper. First putt after the shot from the sand, trying to get up and down for a par, but she's a little bit short. That looked online, had it had just a little extra speed to it. Kim Soo-ji only 96 meters to go at 13. As we had just seen, the pin very close to the front and being so close to it after her first two strokes really allows her to flex her short game play. Winner in 2020 and 2021. Only two players have ever won this tournament 3 times in their careers. Kuoki and Kim Soon-mi, the only two to have ever done it over the last nearly half century. To the 13th tee with EA1. This was just a couple of moments ago once Pak Hankyung played her second from the sand. EA1 also misses the fairway off the tee. Her miss is left and into the rough on the opposite side of the fairway. Six iron for Chun Ye-sung, 144 meters and up the hill. That hits the side of the fringe and skips down towards the water. I don't think it's wet, but she might need to trade her golf spikes for some hiking boots to go find it. It's a revealing angle. Low looking down towards the green. It is very hilly, to be succinct. And Chung and Soo also in the group with EA1. Been steady to start. It's a 72-hole marathon, and despite bogeying the first hole, she's picked up birdies at 2, 4, and 5, and has generally been driving the golf ball well. I think she found a putt. This is her 4th, going right at the pin. Narrowly rolling past, that's all she'll have left for par. That is the very definition of buried. Just the top of the ball visible. 3 or 4 inches of tall, wet rough. Chun Ye-sung's 3rd. Probably going to need a little bit more muscle than normal. She plucks that up. No gimme on the putt either, as that'll be uphill and about 2.5 meters plus still to play. We'll go to 13. 14 meters to go. It is a look at birdie for Jae-ri. All needs to get over. From that distance, she'll take it. opportunity to be one of 4 players at the 3-under score. She and Hankyung Sun, Reem as well, the closest to our leader at this stage in the round. Hankyung putting uphill from the fringe. Just chasing this particular hole from that drive into the sands. Interesting pin placement here at 18. Choi Lim gets one closer to even. And she hits the turn with her first birdie of the round. An eventful last 4 holes after starting off with 5 straight pars. Giving a little bit of a boost in the confidence department as she heads over to the garden course. This is makeable for Kim Soo-ji. Inside of 100 meters for the wedge shot to set up her 2nd consecutive birdie. 2 under takes her into a tie for 6th position. Sung hangs on for her 12th par in a row. Exactly where she began the round at even. One on the par 5. She might be off the fairway, but she is looking for some extra club. 292, and she takes the 5-wood out. She does return to the fairway, but I don't think she caught that quite as sweetly as she was hoping. She would have been able to work better with a bit more loft had she got underneath it. Reem saves her par. High five and a handoff as she marches onwards. Still very much in the hunt. Speaking of, Jung-In Soo, shot 2 on the par 5. Second shot on the par 5 is never supposed to be an eventful one. Trying to take a good hack and eat up another 180, 200 meters. She's done exactly that. 3.7 for Ma So Young, pardon me. Downhill towards the fringe. She's also been able to solve this riddle. And just like her peer, her first birdie comes on hole number 18. Sun 7 has landed on a 7-iron. Got 150 to go. It's a little bit of a rollback as well down the hill. It's a decent setup. Narrowly misses out on another fairway in regulation. It is right off the tee with driver once again. Almost was able to force its way through the tall grass into the fairway. last little bounce that Hankyung had been hoping for. Interesting, as she'll still need to come through the rough as she addresses the ball. Not an ideal lie, but technically in the fairway.
가운데 보는 느낌은 같이 있겠어. 자.
Reaches the green a little bit long, admittedly. But she will have her opportunity to putt for birdie. We'll go to the tee on the par 3 14th, Che Ream, and a 6-iron. To the back left, she looks to go. She took that as literally as possible. We'll just stop before the fringe. As we near the bottom of the hour from a soggy and humid Fortune Hills Country Club, let's reset the leaderboard for you. Hankyung Sun through 12 holes and playing her opening 9, the garden course, as the back 9 has moved into a share of the lead with a third of the round still to go. Page 2 is where you see more active challengers, including Sung Eugene, Kim Soo-ji, Che Ream, etc., at 2 under par, just past the midway marks of their round. We'll take a quick pause and be back for more on the other side from Fortune Hills at the 48th KLPGA Championship. Welcome back. We are continuing on the par 5. Second shot from the border of the rough returns to the fairway. As we had mentioned after the tee shot, Hankyung came close to rolling back through, and you can tell by being in that taller grass, she had some doubts about the club selection. 308 meters and 21 meters down the hill from the pin. Unlikely at that distance for birdie. She gave it her best crack. King Sun 7 nearly was able to get her stroke back, but she lips out and will have to settle for par. It's a bitter pill to swallow. So Eugene on 15 suffers a similar fate, leaving her initial attempt short. Curling back around and just rolling to a stop short. Simplest of taps takes her the rest of the way to her par. That is a perfect read. The exact right amount of break, and Eun Young has finally picked up her first birdie of the day, and that is a smile of relief and pride as well for a very good putt. EA1 saves the par at about 3+ meters. Short and sweet. Always fascinating to see the latest and greatest equipment. That's a unique putter shape that, if it bears results like that, well, it might become a very popular club in the bag of many. supporters certainly did their best attempt to will Hankyung's third shot forward.
중간 내리막이죠?
맞아. 중간만 넘어가면 돼가지고.
Incredible supporters and sponsors throughout the season for a major. You know, the best and brightest awards are on offer, and that E-Class is a pretty great example of an enviable prize to be won. Came close about 20 minutes ago to an ace here. Soo could grab the keys and a share of the lead if she manages to work this 6-iron just the right way.
근데 단지 앞에서 내리막 낸기 때문에 짧은 거 같아. 그거보다는. 안 봐도 되네. 꼴방해? 자, 그럼 코너보다는 그렇게 하고. 네, 알겠습니다.
There's a bit of apprehension on her face as soon as she lifted her head up. It's close to pin high, but it's on the wrong side of the green. Here one is glancing down at that hybrid as if to wonder, was that the right club? Six iron as well for Coach E1. And she'll go closest. Out to 13. Once again, short after a couple on the par 5 leads to thick rough. It is helping us to understand Why some players have taken the more conservative approach just to get on. If you are deeper with the approach, your putt is probably closer than that after your first. So it is certainly a bit of a trade-off. Hankyung didn't quite have the putter sorted either. She's casting a frustrated figure through the first 2/3 of her opening round. She found the right corner of the green. Trying to keep that as tight to the left as possible. Just rolls down the hill onto the fringe. And now returning to the 13th. Chun-Ye Sung is to avoid a bogey. Will more or less be aiming at that ball marker. That's how much break she's expecting. 4.2 meters. Needed even a bit more than that. It was well studied. This is Kim Soo-ji and a pitching wedge. Very little complaints. There is certainly the possibility for birdie there. Bridgestone was 5 or 6 revolutions shy of the birdie. Do I need to mark? Am I in anyone's path? Green light for EA1 to finish off. And this is to keep herself at +1. She is unable to work that meter and a half putt. She'll drop once more. Tough sledding for Park Young-young. It is her second bogey. And 4 combined drop strokes now when you add in that double from the opening hole. Another close call. Not playing as quick, pardon me, as many players are used to or expecting. The rain really slowing these greens down in particular. No doubt about the speed of that putt. That was hit with some purpose. And Coach Iwan is under par for the second time today. And that will bring Hankyung and company to the 14th. Once again, trusting the hybrid. 164 meters makes it the second shortest hole on the course and the shortest of the back nine. Needing to reset the motions after the birdie applause was heard over on the 14th tee. Let's try that again. Seems like taking that extra moment or two. Didn't distract her or put her off from a successful opening shot. That had some proper movement to it, and Kim Soo-ji made it look easy. She's putting extremely well. 3 of her last 4 holes resulting in birdies. She's yet to find the top step of the podium this season. She is always a threat, though, to the rest of the fields. The bigger the stakes, the better she tends to play. And that's the birdie from Kim Min-sun 7 that we had just heard celebrated a few moments ago. It takes her to a tie for 48th and a +1 score. Still two players at the top. Hankyung Sun with 2 pars after reaching 4 under is sharing that position with Kim Min Sol, who is in the clubhouse after her round of 68. 3 players in Lee Seung-yeon, Park Bo-gyam, and Park Hae-jun, all with 69s and completed. Kim Soo-ji and Song Eun-ah still on the course at 3 under, 1 back. As we near the end of hour number 1 here at Fortune Hills. Back in a few minutes here on the KLPGA Tour. Well, my apologies for that false alarm. Nothing wrong with a leaderboard reset. We'll stick around, though, through these next 5-10 minutes. Tee shot on the par 3 out towards the right edge. It's the correct side of the green that she will have been searching for. Perfectly on line, rolling up the hill. It will be a speedy putt to come. A long putt, but nearly the perfect putt. She was about as online and on pace as you can be without birdieing. Gives it a little nudge to get it the rest of the way for the par. Yeah, one from the fairway on the fringe for a moment and will settle in a wonderful spot. She can step up the approach game. The birdies should fall with more regularity. a bit too quick. Didn't really give the break a chance. Chung-In Soo with an 8-iron, her second on 15. Lands on the green with a soft thud right in the center. As we had suggested, this putt shouldn't have lacked for much pace. She's just about level with the cup. Chen Ye-sung in a tee shot as she sends the ball over the boulders in the water and safely skips it into the fairway. Jae-yoon with birdies at 13 and 18 officially hits the turn under par. She is rightfully lauded and shares a smile and a high five with her caddy. Back to 15, long putt for Chung-In Soo. Up to the left and up the hill. Ji-hyun 3 on the 17th, the penultimate hole on the Palace course. And that is an approach shot worthy of the name of the second nine. Palatial. Splitting the ball marker and the cup a bit too quick, that putt. Underhit putt from EA1 leaves her scratching her head. Sun Eugene, no such trouble for her at 17. That's a birdie. Traversing most of the width of this green. She knew the path to take. Will come up about 30 centimeters short of the birdie. And par is a fine score here. It's a tough pin. Seven iron for Hankyung, 123 meters. I think that was definitely the right club. She's had enough run-ins with the rough so far in the opening round. She didn't want to take any chances there. Short and simple, but a great score. She birdies the second hold around and the second to last hold around and has stayed bogey-free in between. She is half the way to the top spot on the leaderboard. Not even the soft green was enough to keep her putting. It's a bit of an interesting par 3. It's long, there's no doubt, 182 meters. The longest of the 5 par 3s, but it fades around the corner and it's really tough to shape the shot just the way you'd like. That's more like it in terms of the placement on the green. The heart that overlooks the green isn't sending much love to that approach. It was short. Hankyung still remains a bit snake bitten. This is Chung Soo Bean on 7. She has no trouble reaching the green. She's probably in the most enviable position. She is down to her final 3 holes of the round, having played her opening 9 on the Palace course. Chun Ye-sung would have been hoping to return to even here at the 15th. She will, though, settle for par. Sandwiched into the edge of the fringe and the border of the rough. This is Chung In-soo and her second on 16. It's a really tough angle and a good plan to use the fringe as a target. Absorb some of the speed it would have otherwise carried. Chung In Soo to the green, but about 10 meters away as she stays in the center of it. Jae Reem at 2 under par. To the back left corner, was taking no chances with the sand trap. That was tracking really well all the way to the very end when it just finally ran out of speeds. Eight iron for Kim Soo-ji on 17, 126 meters to go. A really close call. It's a good effort. She was successfully able to avoid the rough. Just kind of sends a line drive into the hillsides. And it stops almost exactly where she would have hoped it would. Chung In Soo gets the lip. That was too quick. Now Hankyung Sun, first time we've seen her as the co-leader, but she is at risk of dropping out. Deceiving angle, it's less than 3 meters. More often than not this season, inside of 3 meters has been made. That was quick. That was moving pretty good. Kim In Sun 7. An attempt here to move to even par. A The hill wasn't fast enough. She will stay at +1. Only her torso is visible. Taking a lot of sand with her. She had to really roll those wrists over and generated just enough with the lower body to get that up. It's not a really impressive shot from a tricky position. Confirmation of Hankyung Sun's bogey. That will take her to 3 under par. Couple of holes left to try to go get that stroke back. Sun Eugene, 88 meters, all the way to the back, and will just stop on the fringe. Not a bad place to be on 18. Ji-hyun 3, her third, also on 18. She might have landed in the middle, but she heads to that same corner. It's been popular. See if Hankyung has any better luck off the tee on the par 3. The beauty is that there will be 3 more rounds after today for her. Now, of course, we have to be mindful of the cut line tomorrow. "15 holes down, and Shen Ye-sung is 1 stroke beneath even par. That's a really good effort off the tee. One of the better ones, quite frankly. Seems like the answer to our question about the perfect club on that hole is a 5-wood. This is Jae Reem for birdie. Breaks off the plane in the last moments, pardon me, or the last few centimeters to complete that original train of thought. well off the fairway. Chung Soo up into the hillside to the right. She was close to the cart path with the first point of landing. Over to 18. Really close efforts. She's officially through the round. Could not have started any better, Sung Eugene, with that eagle. And she was mostly able to avoid today the bogeys as well. Again, 3. I was hoping that would be a crescent-shaped path right to left, but she kicked that out to the right, and it's never really returned. She completes this Thursday 18 with the par at the last. This is Hankyung on the par 3. Once again, she judges the speed to near perfection. Kochi won on 17, 6 iron out of the rough. Pin high down the middle. And here at 16, Chun Ye-sung with an opportunity to go back to even. Short and sweet, leaves the flag in as a backstop. And a lot of patience was required. But after 16 holes, she finally has her first birdie today. At 134 meters. Popped that up high as she reached the green. Next tee shot on the par 3. And it ends up almost smack dab in the middle. Supporters shouting for the ball to get going. Sometimes they listen. That's the case. Wanted to agrees to comply with the wishes of the patrons. Groups coming through. The later we head into the round, the more they are starting to figure that green out. There are birdies there for the taking. Not many, but they exist, as our top 7 will tell you. Kim Soo-ji, Han Sun on the 17th and 16th holes of their round respectively. 1 stroke back of Kim Min-sol, who once again is in sole possession of his top spots at 4 under par. 4:26 p.m. local time in Pochun. Time for a break. Back with more on the other side as our coverage of the KLPGA Championship continues. Halfway through the opening round of the second major of the season, 123 players in the field this week. Some having a better start to the tournament than others. Pressure always ratcheted up in these big money events. Not seeing the volunteer on screen with their flags. I imagine a provisional will be hit just in case, but that certainly was a big mistake. Hankyung not looking overly thrilled with it either. I swear that's not a replay from her last par 5, but it's almost an identical outcome. Firmly struck and sailing past the hole. Hankyung Sun right back into the lead after relinquishing it with her first bogey at 7. Birdie's 8th and is once again at 4 under par. Unfortunately, on that putt, the opportunity for greatness was there and seems as though it was almost infallible. The putt was missed. Chung-In-Soo, long range attempt, very good read of the break. It's about as awkward a lie as you can fathom. And that is the price you pay for a missed tee shot. Back into the fairway after 2. Here's Kim Soo-ji. Third shot on the 18th. It's going to be a bit tricky to achieve the birdie from that distance. Next up at 18, Shea Ream, 67 meters. quite speedy enough. She slows to a stop. Even further back than her groupmate, who had just done very similar approach. It is an unfortunately very magnetic sand trap, but claims another victim. Next to approach at 15. Trying to tame this par 4. With the pin so close to the tree line and with the bunker to consider as well, many a layup have been played. Again, once again in the sand, gets up well onto the green. Putts gets Che Ream to the end of the round. She finishes inside of the top 10 with a sterling bogey-free round of 70. Erica Young-Smith, the American invited competitor this week. Started to come back online. Kim Soo-ji had the opportunity to grab a share of the lead, but she is just a little light on the putt, a 69, and the second best score we've seen today finalized. She lifted her head up and was hoping to hear the rewarding clank of the ball dropping into the cup, but alas, she was not quite on it that time round. Second at 18, Chung and Soo, 296, but from the rough. Hankyung salvages par. She is in a birdie rut, though. It is still dating back to one of the final holes of the opening nine since she last was able to circle a number on her scorecard. Kim Min-sun 7 and 9 iron as she looks to return to even. Can't fault her bravery for going for it, but she's on the wrong side of the green and down into the sands. Birdie for the American, her first, comes here on hole 15. One of 7 invited players in the field this week, and I believe one of just the 2 Americans who are participating in this KLPGA Championship. Back to the 18th tee, Chun Ye-sung. A half-kilometer journey to the end of her round. From the sands, she watches on as the ball curls around to its final resting place about 4 meters beyond the pin. Par 3 looking for the back corner. She arrives in the middle. Supporters behind the green knew all the way that that was a good shot. And they encourage and applaud the ball as it lands on the green. Be a bit more aggressive with the tee shots and force the ball into the corner. She is unable to stay on the green. Perfectly online. Kazarori A1 picks up a birdie. Kim Sun 7, this to stay at +1, putting back towards the sand trap. Not the first victim of a very similar putt to that, expecting more break. Ultimately, it's straight and straight past the cup. Jung Soo was trying to end the day after 70 strokes. She needs a 71st. Big skip up and onto the hillside and goes for a little ride on the cart path before finally coming to a stop. Bites her bottom lip to not unleash any frustration as she came awfully close to being the first and only player at 5 under par. 68 is where she officially concludes the round. And that's looking real good. Coach Yuan with her third birdie. Despite 2 par 4 bogeys on the back 9, she finishes herself with a 70 at the end of the opening round. Hankyung 130 meters. About 15 meters onto the green and closer to the right side. And that's for a whole lot more than that one. Stops on a dime and has a really good potential for a birdie. Kim Min-byul knew that that was not quite the same opportunity afforded to her. Making sure that the shot, when it's ready to be taken from Hankyung, is done correctly. We will expect some sparks to fly. .93 meters for Hankyung. It's supposed to be easy to strike the ball off the asphalt. Breezing on by, really good attempt. Looks like par for the American here on the par 3. Sun 7, 267 meters on her march in towards the clubhouse. She's a little long and she's a little left after 2. Little fanfare. Final shot of the hole is rolled in. checker day with mixed results for Hankyung. Smith will stay at +1 for one more hole. Eric Ian Smith, of course, my apologies. And Anji Hyun, slightly up the hill, struck firm, struck well. And it has been 11 holes since her last birdie. She improves to +1. Chen Yusong birdie, bogey, birdie to end the round and finishes Thursday on a high. Jung, it's pretty remarkable to look at that scorecard through 15 holes and only see 5 pars. The ups and downs and roller coasters this sport can often throw. Hankyung officially in 37 on the way out, and on the way in 2 birdies, a double bogey and 2 bogeys. The opening round for the 2-time champion of this event. Nice bit of backspin to keep that firmly planted into the corner of 18. Up from the rough. This is looking pretty darn good considering that lie. Very well played. Jung with her tee shot on the par 3. Tell you what, if we have a pin placement here this week in the front third of the green, we will see many a birdie. None of the three will be overly enthused by those tee shots, but all three are on the green, all three are putting. Day on back-to-back birdies, one of her 3 on the back 9 and one of her 4 on the day. She finishes 1 stroke off the leads with a very impressive opening round to this major championship. Not a single thing she could find to critique with that more than serviceable approach on. Here's our latest refreshed look at the leaderboard after 2 hours of this opening round. You're at Fortune Hills, Hankyung Sun, Kim In-sol, the co-leaders, and they have quite the growing crowd beneath them. The next 8 on the first page of the leaderboard, and Sung-eun, who still has 17 and 18 to play over on the garden course. Chance to capture a piece of the lead. 2 under, another popular score with more than a dozen at the mark at this point in the tournament. Back in a few for more as our coverage of the BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship continues. we are back to Fortune Hills. We are almost back with a birdie. Courtesy of Imi Jung. This is Hankyung Smith on the par 4 17th, trying to get back to even, but she didn't have that break quite choreographed. It went the opposite direction that she needed it to. Lengthy putts. She wasn't going to miss shorts. Short, simple, and effective. The birdie from Kim Min-byul, her first of the round, comes with just 2 holes remaining. To the corner quite effectively, and an understandable smile after a shot like that. Following suit down into a great position that has certainly increased the odds of birdieing the final hole. Struck well, gave herself a shot. Two-yard tap in to end the hole. She's one closer to the quarter mark of this tournament. By a razor thin margin of error. High and right.
Hey.
Good shot.
And Hankyung Smith on 18 now. For a little bit extra power, you can see just how narrow that fairway gets. Level with the sand trap. She is cutting a frustrated figure out there, though. Another close call and an identical outcome. It's a very tidy approach between the border of the green and the flag at about 2.5 to 3 meters. Quite the same level of accuracy as the approach trickles out onto the back left corner. Hankyung at +1, her second at 18. Long, low, and left. Up towards the cart path and hidden in that tall grass. struggle for Miss Smith as she's gone back into the fairway. It's been a day to forget. Hankyung. That is a big negative number beside her name. We've stayed dry for the better part of 2.5 hours. Unfortunately, the forecast isn't looking very sunny all week long. It'll rain Friday and Sunday, thick clouds on Saturday, and the humidity will likely stay quite high. Our second to last tournament in the month of August. It's the 20th of the season here on the KLPGA Tour. On the 82 meters, it's about as good a look as she could ask for. Didn't quite bite, not as much backspin as she was seeking. That is the shot that Hankyung Smith was looking for just prior to that attempt. It's good. It might even be great. Kim Biel, she's close to the green, but she has the toughest lie in the rough, and that continues after her approach. Is the only one off the green. Trying to pick that up from the back. Too strong though on the chip that's misses the green altogether. Songana has caught up to 4 under. It is her 18th and final hole of Thursday. No, she is finishing on the garden course. Chipped from a few yards into the rough. That will leave a short putt for par. Amy Jung at +4. Even +2 would be a successful end. She's halfway there. Still today, 17 holes and only 6 pars. Lots of birdies, lots of bogeys. That's +1, a 73 in the opening round for one of our 2 Americans in the field. Yuhyun Jo, as mentioned, a tough day at +8. +7, triple bogey at 12, 5 bogeys otherwise. A moment to celebrate at least before the end of the round. And Kim Min-gil, 73, bogeys at 1 and 15, a birdie at the 17th. And that is curtains for her on Thursday. On the tee, a drive into the fairway is a good start. Sung now back-to-back birdies means she takes over top spots. Methodical, professional, and consistent. The leader of this major championship. And based on where we're at in the day, likely will finish as #1 after 18 holes. Right beside her group mates, the three of them in a tight little line. One of our final groups of the afternoon work their way through to 18. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new leader. She kind of snuck away under the attention of the cameras over on the garden course, but she played some fabulous golf on the way in. Sung Na and a 67. Sees her vaults all the way towards the top. She was at 2 under after 9. It was a very productive run-in. Birdies at 6, 8, and 9 to go along with birdies at 11, 13, and 18 earlier in the day. We have 9 players currently at 2 under or better as we get close to the end of the road. 5:30 local time in Pochun. Back with more on the other side. And welcome back. More of the final groups of the day making their way through to the 18th. That was Hankyung and an unfortunate second shot that sees her end up in the sand trap. Really well weighted. That is just a couple of meters beyond and on the perfect side of the green for what she's looking for. Jung, 268 meters. She will go to just about the extreme end of the fairway. To arrive on the green, a little bit underhit relative to her group mate, but still quite a productive shot. This is an interesting lie. It's perched up pretty well in the bunker. She'll have to clear this and the next and not go too far beyond with the pin so close to the corner. She couldn't have asked for much more than that. What a shot. Like she had it on a string. Exceptionally well played. Understandable reaction, that too. Some backspin there as well. We'll keep her close to the green, but technically onto the fringe. And not to be outdone. 3 pin seekers out there in the group. Yulin at the 17th. She is at +5. Get one of those strokes back. Unfortunately, that has been a bit of a recurring theme for her today. Hankyung with her second birdie of the back and third of the day. She comes close to even, but it is a 73 in the opening round. That's an excellent birdie. Yoon Soo-ah back to back now, heading to 18. Heating up at the right time. Putt from the fringe. Started left and stayed left all the way through. Not much required after the birdie chance disappeared. She just had a simple finish. A couple of feet, a ping off the pin, and down for the par. Zishuan with a birdie that was one of three today. Double bogey earlier on the back nine did cause some trouble. Some memories and friendships made today in this group. They will wonder if their paths will cross again before the end of the weekend. Unchanged first page of the leaderboards after 2 hours and 45 minutes here at Fortune Hills for our second major championship of the season. A purse to be split amongst the field of 1.5 billion won. It'll be 270 million for the winner. The 48th playing of the KLPGA Championship, and we're getting close to the end of the opening round. Songuna's lead is looking increasingly more likely like it will be safe. The closest active player still in contention is at 2 under after 17 holes. And only 2 additional players still active in the top 30. Back after the break as we get close to the end of our opening round here on the KLPGA Tour. Well, for those who may still be joining us, we have just been informed that we have reached the end of our coverage for this opening round of the 48th KLPGA Championship. We thank you for being with us for nearly the last 3 hours, and we hope you'll be able to join us once again tomorrow. It's an important major. It's an important day to come with the same start time as we had today. That will carry over into tomorrow as well. That will be 3 p.m. local in Bocheon-si. For all of us with the KLPGA Tour, I've been Adam Jenkins. We will talk to you tomorrow as the BC Card Hankyung 48th KLPGA Championship will continue.